Welcome to today's episode of Football Scientific. It's a special episode because we're in quiet mode. Shh. The children are asleep. It's been a busy day of football. I'm looking to top it off by talking about some action in NAL, IFL, UFL, CFL, and the NFL. That's going to be today's episode. There won't be any characters because I'm just trying to talk about this stuff tonight. First, big news. In the NAL, the Omaha Beef have officially selected a new head coach. They have hired Brandon Negron, who used to be the Carolina Cobras head coach for 2 seasons until this year. He's now the head coach at Omaha Beef. He said in an interview he wants to find the best pasta place in Omaha. Call him up and tell him where it's at. With that in mind, the Omaha Beef also made a trade with the Carolina Cobras because Brandon Negron, he has insider information on the Carolina Panthers. So he traded the Carolina Cobras. I said Panthers. Stupid Panthers. Ugh. The Carolina Cobras traded running back David Ross to the Omaha Beef, and now head coach Brandon Negron. So now David Ross is on the Omaha Beef. I guess he wanted a running back that he has experience with. That makes sense. Also, the Shreveport Rougarou. Shreveport Rougarou. 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 They made some moves after losing to the Idaho Horsemen. Yuck. They released defensive back Albert Curran IV, and they released defensive back Javion Bird. Apparently, they got beat by the Horsemen because their defensive backfield was horrible. They signed defensive back Jalen Owens to replace them, and signed wide receiver Gary Brown to give them some more offensive explosiveness. In addition to trading David Ross to the Omaha Beef, the Carolina Cobras, not the Panthers, yuck, have released linebacker Kevin Voiles. In addition, they've also signed offensive lineman Roderick Ross Jr. When you lose to the Wheeling Miners, you got to make a bunch of roster moves. They signed defensive lineman Zemar Anderson, and they released running back Tobias Taylor, who I thought was a good player for them. I guess they didn't agree. When you lose to the Wheeling Miners, you're going to get fired, bro. Colorado Spartans released running back Thurlow Wilkins. Goodbye, running back Thurlow Wilkins. Goodbye, Colorado. In the IFL, there was another trade. The Massachusetts Pirates traded quarterback Aeneas Dennis to the Tucson Sugar Skulls for future considerations. They didn't care what they got back. They just wanted to get rid of Aeneas Dennis. He hasn't even played a game for them. Kenji Bahar's been throwing all the interceptions. Tucson Sugar Skulls also released wide receiver Marlon Cook. Goodbye, Marlon. You might be a good fish, but you're not a good cook. Quiet mode. All right. In the UFL, the Birmingham Stallions, late last night, did sacrilegious stuff. They signed outside linebacker Delonte Scott, who played at SMU. For the last 2 seasons, he was one of the top playmakers for the San Antonio Brahmas. Here's my question. If he's still playing the UFL, why didn't the San Antonio Brahmas sign him? They really need him right now. He's with the stupid Birmingham Stallions. Like they need more help. Stupid Stallions. I'm going to go watch them play sometime. They're not that stupid. Houston Roughnecks signed offensive tackle Isaiah Battle. He went to Clemson. They need help on their offensive line. The Michigan Panthers, well, they've had some issues. First, they signed offensive guard Grant Miller because they needed to get their running game together and pass protection. At least they're aware of that. On the bad news for Michigan Panthers, they have benched. They didn't bench him. They put defensive end Breland Spears on the IR list. He's out for 5 weeks, bro, minimum. Perfect time for the Brahmas to finally do something and beat somebody. Beat the Panthers this week. Hopefully. Also, the Panthers and Houston Roughnecks had a really confusing trade. The Michigan Panthers traded wide receiver Marcus Sims to the Houston Roughnecks for an offensive lineman, Cam Curry. Now, the Roughnecks got another receiver that Anthony Brown cannot throw to. I guess Marcus Sims must have made some people at Michigan mad or something. He's been a pretty good receiver for them. They traded him away for an offensive lineman who was on the worst team in the league. Well, second worst. Brahmas have taken the crown. The St. Louis Battlehawks, their starting right guard, Abdul Beecham, their head coach, Anthony Beck, said he's going to miss a week or two, man. That guy's hurt. Sorry, Abdul. In the CFL, the Montreal Alouettes signed American defensive lineman Joe Azugo. No, they didn't sign him. He retired. Goodbye, Joe Azugo. Goodbye, Montreal. Joe is retired. I said they signed him, but I was wrong. He retired. The Edmonton Elks signed American wide receiver Jacob Copeland. He played at Maryland. The Hamilton Ticats signed somebody too. I'm going to write an article about this tomorrow. They signed American defensive back Quantrez Knight. Quantrez Knight, 6 foot, 199 pounds. He's from Gretna, Florida. He spent 2 years with the San Francisco 49ers. That's pretty cool. He spent half of 2023 with the Arizona Cardinals and playing 6 games for them, although he didn't make any stats. He got released and said, I'll be back. I'll be back. What he meant to say is, I'll be back in the CFL. Because he's going to Hamilton Ticats. They already have a pretty strong secondary. Maybe he'll make them stronger. He played at a bunch of colleges. First, he started his college career at the University of Maryland. In 2016-2018, he played in 27 games. He had 33 solo tackles and 12 assists and 0 sacks. Then he transferred to Kent State. In 2019, he played 11 games, had 46 solo tackles, 28 assists, and 1.5 sacks. And then in 2020, he transferred to UCLA, which is probably a big improvement over Kent State. And he played 19 games and had 76 solo tackles, 30 assists, and 5. He sounds like a good player. He might make the Ticats better. That's pretty cool. I hope he makes the team. I'll write about him tomorrow on CFL News Hub. Remember, I'm Aaron Sauter, and I write about the Hamilton Ticats and St. Antonio Brahmas on the UFL, on UFL News Hub and CFL News Hub. In the European League of Football, the Munich Ravens have been busy. They're bringing back cornerback Christoph Nitzlender. He played in all 12 games last year. He had 44 tackles, 6 pass breakups, 1 block kick, and 1 interception for the Ravens, who made the playoffs for the first time in their history. Before he played for Munich, he played for the Raiders Tyrol, or the T-Roll Raiders, however you want to say it. Raiders T-Roll. He played 2 seasons for the Raiders in T-Roll. And he had 84 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 13 pass breakups. He was Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2023. He seems to be pretty good. I bet that was 2022. My bad. I guess the Ravens are getting it better. Not the Baltimore Ravens, the Munich Ravens. They also signed defensive lineman Atuli Liu. They extended him to stay with the Munich Ravens. They want to go back to the playoffs. Wait, there's more. The Vienna Vikings have hired Giorgio Tavecchio as their new kicking coach. I guess he'll be kicking it in Vienna. That's in Austria, yeah. The rest is NFL news. First, quarterback Jalen Milroe from Alabama had a private workout with New Orleans Saints and Cleveland Browns. The Philadelphia Eagles are expected to be pursuing Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill in a trade. The Buffalo Bills running back James Cook is not happy with his contract. He would like to get paid more. He's not going to get paid more because he's willing to play this year for the Bills. He says he's going to play this year for the Bills. Why pay him when he's going to play another year? Wide receiver / cornerback Travis Hunter would prefer to be a wide receiver in the NFL, but he's willing to play both sides. He thinks he can do it. Notre Dame cornerback Benjamin Morrison. He had a hip ligament repair last year. He didn't participate in the combine or Notre Dame's pro day. He's having a private workout Monday, April 1st at Brophy Prep in Arizona. His dad is Daryl Morrison. He played safety for Washington Redskins, and he's currently the team chaplain at Arizona Cardinals. Seems like some form of nepotism. If you want to go watch him work out, it's April 21st at Brophy Prep High School in Arizona. If I lived in Arizona, I'd go check it out. But I don't. Washington State wide receiver Kyle Williams is going to visit the Tennessee Titans. They need some receivers. New York Jets. New York Jets are going to use a 3-back rotation. They're going to use a running back by committee situation. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis are going to split reps, according to head coach Aaron Glenn. Breece Hall would like to be traded, but he'll probably extend his career because he's rotating. Maybe he shouldn't get traded. Georgia defensive lineman Tyrion Ingram Dawkins is due to visit the Minnesota Vikings and non-Falcons this week. He's also visited the Saints, Panthers, Chiefs, 49ers, Bills, and Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles expected to make a trade during the NFL draft. There's rumors they're going to make a trade for Tyreek Hill. And maybe 2 trades for someone else. Probably Tyreek Hill from the Dolphins. Texas A&M edge rusher Nick Scourton is visited today with the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns have also had Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart visit them. Poor Jackson Dart. Michigan cornerback Will Johnson had a hamstring injury in February. He's going to work out for NFL teams at the Michigan campus. Arizona Cardinals have University of Tennessee pass rusher James Pierce Jr. visiting Cardinals on Monday. He visited yesterday. Georgia pass rusher Michael Williams. He's going to visit the Cardinals on Wednesday. Atlanta Falcons are going to have safety Jonas Sanker visit them next week. There's their draft visits. Baltimore Ravens are going to have Penn State safety Jalen Reed come visit them. He's scheduled to visit. Carolina Panthers are going to have UCLA linebacker Carson Schweschinger visit them on Tuesday. That's today. Also, Jonas Sanker visited them. He'll visit them tomorrow. Chicago Bears signed cornerback Nashawn Wright. Notre Dame wide receiver Bo Collins is working with the Bears. He wants to go visit the Bears. He's in the draft, bro. Cincinnati Bengals are having Ohio State running back Quinshon Judkins come visit them on Wednesday. They need a running back. Quinshon Judkins would be cool. Pass rusher James Pierce Jr. is going to visit Cincinnati. They really need him to replace Trey Henderson since they fumbled that so poorly. Cleveland Browns signed cornerback Winston Reed. They're also having Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Isaiah Byrd, and Jalen Walker all visit Cleveland Browns. Dallas Cowboys have Georgia pass rusher Michael Williams visit them in Dallas. The Denver Broncos have running back Quinshon Judkins. He's going to visit this week. The Detroit Lions cornerback Maxwell Hairston is going to visit them on Tuesday. So is safety Jalen Reed and safety Jonas Sankey. They're going to pick a safety. Houston Texans are going to have running back Quinshon Judkins visit them. And they finally signed linebacker E.J. Speed from the Colts. Cool name for a linebacker. E.J. Speed. The Indianapolis Colts pass rusher James Pierce Jr. No. Tennessee pass rusher James Pierce-Jr. is going to visit the Colts this week. Kansas City Chiefs signed defensive end Janarius Robinson and safety Mike Edwards. The Las Vegas Raiders are going to have cornerback Maxwell Hairston visit them Wednesday, and then cornerback Will Johnson is going to visit them next week. The New England Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs is going to wear number 8 this year, and Michael Wilkins is going to visit them. He went to Georgia. New Orleans Saints pass rusher Michael Williams, I guess it's Williams, who's going to visit the Saints. If he gets good enough, I'll know how to say his name. Maybe. The New York Giants defensive end DeMarcus Walker has returned. No. He's been released by the Bears. He's going to go visit the Giants. So DeMarcus Walker, released by the Bears. He's going to go visit the Giants on Wednesday. Speaking of defensive ends, linebacker Abdul Carter is going to visit the Giants for a second time on Thursday. He has no power moves, only a speed move, the ghost speed move. Safety Jalen Reed is going to visit on Monday. New York Jets safety Jalen Reed is going to visit sometime. He's scheduled to visit, doesn't say when. Pass rusher Michael Wilkins is going to visit the Jets. Poor guy. Philadelphia Eagles safety Jalen Reed. He's going to visit them. He's scheduled to visit. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Shadur Sanders is making a top 30 visit to the Steelers. San Francisco 49ers pass rusher Michael Wilkins. He's going to visit on Monday. I guess that was Monday already. He already visited on Monday. Cool, man. Seattle Seahawks pass rusher is visiting. This is Michael Williams. He's visited the Seattle Seahawks too. Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver Matthew Golden from Texas is visiting them on Thursday. And pass rusher Michael Wilkins is visiting Tampa Bay on a different week. He already visited them previously. Washington Commanders safety Jonas Sanker is visiting them on Tuesday. That was today. Okay, this was a pretty boring show. I had to be in quiet mode. I'm really tired. Spent a long day of science and football. Chemistry to start today. Football workouts. And then I ran a private workout. And while I was running a private workout, I thought to myself, the UFL could really use some private workouts for tackling. I can do that. UFL, call me up. Let's pay me $50 for a player to come and teach them how to tackle. If I can teach a 7-year-old how to tackle, I can teach a UFL player how to tackle. Oh well. Tomorrow we're going to go for our NAL predictions. Because once again they play on Thursday. I also did a few NFL mock drafts today during my lunchtime. I'll probably share one of those tomorrow. Other than that, this has been a quiet mode episode of Football Scientific. If you liked it, if you like it quiet, let me know. It's really boring. Boring for me, boring for Wolfie D, maybe boring for you. But if you like it, let me know and I'll keep on doing silent mode. Hope you have a great night. Remember, check out the CFL News Hub for articles about the CFL and the UFL News Hub about articles about the UFL and AF1. Yeah. Also, check out my Substack. I have articles there too. If you like Football Scientific, even quiet mode, subscribe to the channel and like the video. Wolfie D will see you tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow too. And for that guy who keeps asking me to do stuff like slow dance and sing a song about Obama, I'm not supposed to talk about government people, bro. But I'll see if I can figure it out. I just haven't had time yet. And you asked me to make a rap song with Wolfie D and Corky about chemistry. We're down with that. I just haven't had time. Maybe this weekend. or something like that. Friday night or something. Oh well. Tomorrow we'll do the NAL predictions. Have a great night. The football scientific portal has closed.